What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Southern Sorcery. Today we're checking out the Revival Trance Final Fantasy VI Precon. This is helmed by Terra, Herald of Hope. Sorry, a little tongue twister there for you guys. This one, I didn't realize these were being released today, or we would have tried to be more prepared, but it is what it is. We hope you like this video. Please check us out, like and subscribe if you have not already done so. It helps our channel a ton. If you are looking to win these precons, we will still be doing our normal every set precon giveaway budget upgrade videos. Those will come later after we've had a day or two to filter with play around with these, filter out what we think is a good add and a good subtraction, and we'll get those out as quickly as you can. But today we're just going to look at the 99 and speculate on it just a little bit. Here's the full deck reveal. So Commander is Terra, Herald of Hope. You guys have probably already seen this, but at the beginning of combat on your turn, mill 2 cards. She gains flying until the end of turn. Whenever she deals combat damage to a player, you can pay 2, and when you do, return a target creature card with power 3 or less from the graveyard to the battlefield tapped. So recursion, that is the name of the game here. Nice and low cost CMC, total of 3 here. We've got red, white, black, so that's really good. And then the backup commander is Celeste, Rune Knight, 1, a black, a white, and a red. When she enters, discard any number of cards, then draw that many cards plus 1. So that's very good. You can churn through your deck and put tons of stuff into your graveyard super quickly. Whenever one or more other creatures enter, you control enter, if one of them entered from a graveyard or was cast from a graveyard, put a 1/1 counter on each creature you control. So Celeste is going to fill up our graveyards and then also buff our team. Very, very, very good. I might even run that as the commander of this deck. That's so good. But anyway, let's just move on to the 99. These precons, being a extended universe set, have a lot more new cards than what you see in a typical precon. Most precons that are in universe or like Magic IP, those get 10 to 12 new cards, just depending on the set. Some of them, but generally around 10. These are much closer to like 26, 27. Somewhere in that ballpark, because they want to put in all these new characters and all these new equipments and all these new fun things for us to do that are related to Final Fantasy. So we've already been over Terra and Celeste, so let's move on. Then we've got our first other new creature. This is Cyan, Vengeful Samurai. This spell costs 1 less to cast for each creature card in your graveyard. He has double strike, and then whenever one or more creature cards leave your graveyard, put a 1/1 counter. So he is going to get nice and big for us. Then we also have General Leo Christoph. 4 and a white for a human soldier. When he enters, return up to 1 target creature card with mana value 3 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. So that's what our commander does. Some more redundancy here. Then put a 1/1 counter on General Leo Christoph for each creature you control. So General Leo can also get really, really huge. These are expensive cards, 6 and a white for Cyan, and then 4 and a white for General Leo Christoph. So they're not cheap, but they do a whole lot. Worth the cost there, it seems like. Next we have Interceptor, Shadow's Hound. This is a dog. It has menace and says assassins you control have menace, so this set might play nicely with the Assassin's Creed stuff. Whenever you attack with 1 or more legendary creatures, you can pay 2 and a black, and if you do, return this card from your graveyard to the battlefield tapped and attacking. So Interceptor would be a good one to go ahead and get out into the graveyard. Next we have Shadow, Mysterious Assassin, 2 and a black, has Death Touch and has Throw. Whenever Shadow deals combat damage to a player, you may sacrifice another non-land permanent. If you do, draw 2 cards, and each opponent loses life equal to the mana value of the sacrifice permanent. So that's interesting, because if you guys have seen this, Captain America, Cap has Throw, and then now this card has Throw, so that's interesting, even though they're completely different. Next we've got Siegfried, Famed Swordsman. This is a human warrior rogue, has menace. When it enters, mill 3 cards, so filling up our graveyard some more. Then put X 1/1 counters on Siegfried, where X is twice the number of creature cards in your graveyard. Again, this thing could be massive, especially with our backup commander just filling up the graveyard. Next we have Gal Feral Youth. Youths. 1 and a red for a Berserker that has Rage. When Gal attacks, put a 1/1 counter on it. At the beginning of each end step, if a card left your graveyard this turn, Gal deals damage equal to its power to each opponent. What? This is nuts. These are all really powerful. Next, we've got Go-Go Mysterious Mime. A wizard. At the beginning of combat on your turn, you may have Go-Go become a copy of another target creature you control until the end of turn. Except its name is Go-Go Mysterious Mime. If you do, Go-Go and that creature each get +2/+0 and gain haste until the end of turn, and attack this turn if able. That's pretty cool. Next, we've got Sabin, Master Monk. A human noble monk, 4 and a red. It has double strike, but it also has blitz, so you can blitz it out. 2 red, discard a card. If you cast a spell for its blitz cost, it gains haste, and then when this creature dies, draw a card, sacrifice it at the beginning of the next end step, and you can cast this card from your graveyard using its blitz ability. So another one that is good to have in the graveyard. Next, we've got Strago and Realm, a human wizard. Has sketch and lore, 2 and a red. You can tap it. Target opponent exiles cards from the top of their library until they exile an instant or sorcery or creature card. You may cast that card without paying its mana cost. If you cast a creature card this way, it gains haste, and at the beginning of the end step, sacrifice this creature. Activate only as a sorcery. So that's pretty cool. Stealing your opponent's thing and then sacrificing it. Next, we have one of the new enchantment creature Saga cards. This is Esper. I'm going to butcher this. Valagarmanda. It's a Drake. It's a 3/3. It has flying and haste. Thankfully, it has haste, considering it goes away. The first chapter is exile an instant or sorcery card from each graveyard. The second, third, and fourth chapters are add red for each lore counter on this saga. You can cast an instant or sorcery card exiled with this saga, and mana of any type can be spent to cast that spell. So we're going to be able to cast our opponent's stuff, which is cool. Next, we've got Imaro, Raging Yeti. It's a Yeti Berserker with Trample. At the beginning of combat on your turn, choose one at random. Other creatures you control get +3/+0 and gain Trample until the end of turn. Discard your hand, then draw 4 cards, or Imaro deals 5 damage to any target. We've also got Bannon, the Returner's Leader, for red and a white. It's a human cleric rebel, and it has Prey. Goodness. Once during each of your turns, you may cast a creature spell from among cards in your graveyard that were put there from anywhere other than the battlefield this turn. So any mill or anything like that. Whenever you attack, you may pay 1 and discard a card, and if you do, you can draw a card. So discarding cards feeds right into his Prey ability. Next, we have Edgar, Master Machinist, 2 red and a white. Once during each of your turns, you may cast an artifact spell from your graveyard, which is nice because it's harder to get non-creatures back out of the graveyard. So having something like this to, get that Soul Ring you milled would be good. If you cast a spell this way, that artifact enters tapped, and then it has tools. Whenever Edgar attacks, it gets +X/+0 until the end of turn, where X is the greatest mana value among artifacts you control. Next, we have Kefka, Dancing Mad, 5 black red for a legendary creature human wizard. During your turn, Kefka has Indestructible, and then at the beginning of your end step, exile a card at random from each opponent's graveyard. You may cast any number of spells from among cards exiled this way without paying their mana cost. Then each player who owns a spell you cast this way loses life equal to its mana value. So sub-theme here of stealing your opponent's stuff and playing it, which is fun. Next, we've got Lock, Treasure Hunter, 1 black-red for a human rogue. Lock can't be blocked by creatures with greater power. And then it has Mug. Whenever Lock attacks, each player mills a card. If a land card was milled this way, make a treasure token. Until the end of the turn, you may cast a spell from among those cards. We also have Mog, Moogle Warrior, 1 red-white. Has Lifelink and Dance. That's cute. At the beginning of your end step, each player may discard a card. Each player who's discarded a card this way draws a card. If a creature card was discarded this way, you make a 1/2 white Moogle creature token with lifelink. Then, if a non-creature card was discarded this way, you put a 1/1 counter on each Moogle you control. And this is a Moogle Warrior. So we got Moogle Travel, everybody. This should be fun. That can be a commander. That's funny. Next, we have Setzer, Wandering Gambler. 1 black-red for a human rogue pilot, and whenever it enters, create the Blackjack, a legendary 3/3 colorless vehicle artifact token with flying and crew 2. Whenever a vehicle you control deals combat damage to a player, flip a coin. Whenever you win the coin flip, make 2 tap treasure tokens. That's pretty cool. And then we're going to move into stuff that is getting reprinted here. Let's see, I think the Warring Triad is a new card too. Legendary artifact creature god with flying, trample, and haste. As long as there are fewer than 8 cards in your graveyard, the Warring Triad isn't a creature, and then you can tap it to mill a card. Target player adds 1 mana of any color, so I'm assuming that would be yourself. And then we're going to move into stuff that is not reprints, or that is reprinted. We've got Sun Titan, Archfiend of Depravity, Sepulchral Primordial, Combustible Gearhulk, Flayer of the Hatebound, Rune Grinder, Priest of Fell Rites, Solemn Simulacrum, Angel of the Ruins, Palace Jailer, Morbid Opportunist, Pitiless Plunder, lots of good creatures dying payoffs, which is good. Stitcher Supply, Anger, get Anger into your graveyard. Man, these arts are really cool. Meteor Golem, Milliken, and we'll add these to our Moxfield account too, so you can go there and check these out and see all the new artworks and stuff. We've got a few new cards here, I think, as well. We've got Coin of Fate, 1 and a white. When this artifact enters, surveil 1, 3 and a white. Tap it, exile 2 creature cards from your graveyard, sacrifice this artifact, and the opponent chooses one of the exiled cards. You may put that card on the bottom of your library and return the other to the battlefield tapped, and you become the Monarch. So that's fun, introducing the Monarch to this deck. We've got the Falcon Airship Restored. Here's a couple of vehicles in this. Interesting. It has flying. Whenever it deals combat damage to a player, you can sacrifice it. Then when you do, return target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. 4 and a black. Return this card from your graveyard to the battlefield tapped, and crew 2. And then we've got Key to the City. You tap it to discard a card up to 1 target creature. Can't be blocked this turn. Whenever this artifact becomes untapped, you can pay 2, and if you do, then you draw a card. That's really cool. So you discard a card so you can get something into your graveyard, and then a target creature can't be blocked this turn. That's super good. You could target your opponent's stuff too. That's really cool. And then Phoenix Down, 1 white for an artifact that has an ability, 1 and a white. Tap it, exile this artifact, and then you choose one. You return target creature card with mana value 4 or less from the graveyard to the battlefield tapped, or you can exile a target skeleton, spirit, or zombie. It's very niche. That is from the main set. You can tell by the little mana symbol here is different than, say, the mana symbol there, right there. And then we've got a plethora of ramp spells. We've got Swiftfoot Boots, so some protection. That's it there. Under instance, let's see. This looks new. Espers to Magicite. Exile each opponent's graveyard. When you do, choose up to 1 target creature card. Exiled this way, create a token. That's a copy of that card, except it's an artifact. And it loses all other card types. And then under sorceries, man, all these arts are really nice. We've got some good reprints in here too. We've got Reanimate and Rise of the Dark Realms. Rejoin the fight, 5 and a black. Mill 3 cards. Then starting with the next opponent in turn order. Each opponent chooses a creature card in your graveyard that hasn't been chosen. Return each of those chosen this way to the battlefield under your control. So they get to choose. Fun. And then there are no new lands, which is interesting to me. Yeah, no new lands because there's 30. So that means there's 25 new cards and there's 75 reprints in this commander deck. The reprint value here is not great, but again, we're getting 25 brand new cards, and those are all going to hold a premium. So we'll have to speculate later on what these precons are actually worth. If they're worth that, $80 MSRP. And that's assuming that they stay at MSRP, so we'll just have to see what happens there. But to me, this deck does look fun, especially if you're into reanimation. Again, I think I might like the backup commander a little better. I think she just does a little bit more. I think that looks more fun. All right, everybody, that is the deck reveal for this precon, the Revival Trance precon. Let us know what you guys think about this. I'm excited to get into it and play each of these. We'll be doing some live gameplay as well here in the next week or so. With these decks, and yeah, we will see you in the next one. Please like and subscribe if you enjoy this content. Bye!